All right, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Jake, your favorite investor, and welcome to today's episode of Deal or No Deal. This is where I take real life properties that are sent to me and I analyze them in real time to show you how we're able to flip houses using nothing but a smartphone, but a laptop, a computer, right? How we're able to do this in any market in the country using free websites and free apps. So the property you see on my screen was sent to me by a real estate agent late last night. And I'm going to take you through the process that I go through to determine A, whether it's something I'm interested in, and B, how I would approach making a move on it if it is something that I'm interested in. So let's break this bad boy down.
Do it.
Anytime I look at any property that comes across my desk, there's a few different aspects that I want to take note of first and foremost. That information isn't necessarily the pictures, although these pictures do look pretty beat up. But I'm looking at the square footage, the bed count, the bath count. So this is 3 beds, 2 bath, 1,605 square feet. It's built in 1966. And I want to see exactly where it's at on the map because I need to determine whether the neighborhood gives me a read on what I can resell the property for. So if I'm looking at it in the neighborhood barriers are going to be this stream or creek right here, this main street in yellow, and it looks like train tracks right here. So this little pocket is where I want to find similar properties, okay? Now remember, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, 1,600 square feet, built in 1966. So what I want to do is open Redfin in a new tab. I want to open that zip code, which I did right here, and I want to see that exact pocket. Let me draw a line around that pocket just to give us a good idea of where our barriers are. And before I even look at the current condition of the property, I want to make sure it's worth our time. And the way that we determine whether or not it's worth our time is by seeing if there's a trend in the neighborhood where we can get a good understanding of how much we can A, sell it for, B, how long it's going to take to sell it, and C, most of the time, we want to get an idea of what the finishes look like so we know not only what we can sell it for and how long it's going to take, but we know what we need to do to that property in order to sell it for that price expectation. If I cannot get that read, I do not consider it as a potential flip and I don't even proceed through the process. So with this one, the property is right in here where you see my cursor. We've got a few different properties that have sold, and it looks like on a few different price points. Now, our house was 1,600 square feet, so I want to see everything that's sold in that area for the last 6 months. Since ours is 1,600 square feet, I'm going to go between about 1,200 square feet and a maximum of 1,800 square feet. Since it's built in 1966, I'm going to say up to 1980 as far as year built is concerned. I want to see houses only, and I actually want to see stuff. If I do any amount of bathrooms, that's one thing. I want to see things that are 1.5 or more bathrooms because our property has 2 bathrooms. So we see those data points from the last 6 months. We have a couple of, this is typically what we see. We have top dollar price points, and then we have some stuff that kind of fizzles out with price points that are a little bit lower. Now our property's right here. We have a 435 right here. And that 435 is 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet. And that's sold in June. We have a $447,000, which is 4 beds, 2 baths, 1,697 square feet. And that property sold in August. We have a 395 right here, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,532 square feet. On the other side of this street right here, we have a 430,000, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,365 square feet. We have a 300,000. That looks like it was a beat up property. So we're not going to take that into consideration for a resell indication, an indication of what we can resell it for. We have a 315 right here, which is 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,233 square feet. We have a 395. That's 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,210 square feet. We have a 425, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,213 square feet. And we have a 405, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,223 square feet. So it looks like in analyzing the numbers in this neighborhood, since ours is 1,600 square feet, it looks like we have a 435 that's comparable. We have a 447 grand that's comparable. a 430,000 that's comparable and a 425,000 that's comparable. That gives me enough of a trend with those 4 properties, and I can go in here to my filters and actually take all the ones that are $400,000 or higher just so we can narrow them down. We've got a decent trend, 435, 430, 425, 447. I'm not going to take the 447 because that's a little bit higher, but this 435 and this 430 down here tell me that with our property, we could probably sell it for a pretty similar price point. Specifically, this 430,000 has 3 beds and 2 baths, just like ours does, whereas these 2 that sold for a little bit higher both have 4 beds and 2 baths. So I'm going to say $430,000 is what I can pretty accurately expect to be able to resell this property for. And with that trend and with that indication, with that proof of the marketplace, that tells me that this is something worth looking at. There are clear trends, clear data points that tell me what I can sell my house for. So heading back over to our subject property, which is the one that we might want to flip, let's start taking a look at the pictures now. They're asking $340,000 for it. Now we can resell it for $430,000, but does that give us enough room? Not quite certain. I definitely would make a play on this property, but I'm not sure that buying it for $430,000 would give me enough room to be able to go and make the amount of money that I want to make on it. But let's see exactly what's going on with the property. Let's look at pictures. So that's the exterior of the house. Looks all right. We have an overhead view. It's not a huge lot. Another view from the front. Yeah, decent looking house. If we throw some paint on it, it'll look all right. Another one from the front. That's fine. We got a few of them from the front here. Let's go through. Now, looking at it from the front right here, it looks like they have these old windows on the front, probably from the 1970s. That tells me that this property probably hasn't been updated in quite some time. So it's something I definitely want to take a closer look at. And you look at it from the interior, it definitely looks dated. We've got the wood paneling on the walls. That's stuff that I like to see for sure. You know, you got these built-in cabinets, older flooring, older kitchen. Usually white cabinets are working in these types of neighborhoods. But they're doing a good job with their pictures, so it tells me that they're probably interested in the price point being as high as possible. They're taking what they have, which isn't much, right? It's a beat-up house. It's a dated house. But they're actually presenting it, putting their best foot forward. That typically tells me that they're trying to get top dollar for it because they're taking consideration how this is being marketed online. Looks like there are some lines in the carpet there, so looks like they at least vacuumed a little bit. There's some bowing in the walls, old bathrooms. You got just old stuff here. So they cleaned up what they could, but it ain't in great condition. All right, so that tells me a little bit about the motivation of the seller. Let's read what they're actually writing. All right, about this home. Calling all flippers, handymen, carpenters, or buyers who want to earn some sweat equity. Right away, that's telling me that the house is beat up. It's not for the regular person. It's for somebody like me that's going to go in, fix it up, and make money on it. Bring your tool belt and imagination to this North Stockton fixer-upper property. This property is looking for the perfect buyer to update it and make it the masterpiece it was meant to be. Already, they're trying to tell me. It could be something big, but right now it's just an ugly duckling. Only 2 owners since being built in 1966. Current owner has owned since 1968. Property offers a great floor plan, blah, 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 blah. This property is tucked away on a tree-lined cul-de-sac location. It's priced for the current condition and ready for a facelift. So this tells me that there's a motivated seller. It also tells me that motivated seller is trying to do whatever they can to get as much money as possible. So they may not be super interested in me bringing a lowball offer. However, you don't know if you don't ask. Okay, so if I'm looking again at the trend of the neighborhood, they were asking $340,000 for this home. But the properties that have sold recently over the last 6 months in this neighborhood are all selling for $425,000, $430,000 and higher. And there's a trend of at least 4 data points in the neighborhood that show us what we can get from it. I need to put it into the condition of these homes in order to get that price point. So for me, I am going to make a move on this based on the analysis that we just did. I know I could sell it for $430,000. However, I need to probably get it at a little bit lower of a price point. And so I'm going to contact that agent after we're done with this video. I'm going to let him know, let's send an offer in but let's get it low, maybe 290,000, maybe even 280,000. That way we have some wiggle room, and if it's accepted, potentially I can get a few contractors in there to let me know exactly what it's going to cost to put it up to speed with everything going on in the neighborhood. So the answer is this is a deal, not because of the current condition of the house, but because of a clear trend on what I can resell it for. Now it's a matter of putting the effort into this property to try to secure it at a price point that's low enough for us to have a bunch of room for profit and do what we need to do with this without putting ourselves in jeopardy of breaking even or potentially even losing money. We can do this over and over and over with deals on Redfin, with deals on Zillow, with deals coming in from real estate agents. We have these free apps and free websites that give us all the data points that we need. It's just a matter of taking action once we can determine that it's something that would be worth our time. And this one definitely is worth our time. I'll keep you guys updated on what happens. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Deal or No Deal. If you want to learn all the different nuances and intricacies about flipping houses in today's market, whether you're doing it part-time, full-time, whether you're just getting into the game, regardless of how much money you have, regardless of how much credit, what your credit profile looks like, hit the link below in the description. Check out what we do. I work with people one-on-one. And you guys, happy investing.